Hey and welcome, Miss Kira Speaks. Before we get started, I ask that you watch the videos till the end, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. We are back again for another episode of Marriage Boot Camp, Hip Hop Edition, Season 19, Episode 6, 50 Shades of K. Apologies, I put on Twitter that I was going to get this up on Tuesday, which was yesterday. Hopefully this will be up before midnight. And I forgot my child had a concert, so here we are, Marriage Boot Camp. So as the episode opens, it's still night 5, and K Michelle and Lyrica are still hollering. In his confessional, Rich says A1 and Lyrica want their phone. They told production that K had her phone. They snitched. Now this part confused me because I thought that K was in her rights to have the phone at this point because they said after the confessional, and we saw her go into the confessional, so why should she not have her phone? But I don't know. Maybe I missed something editing. Who knows? So Lyrica says that Kay was overreacting, but that didn't stop her from matching her energy. We see both ladies, they're going off, talking to their partners in the room, and A1's like, same old Kay, she's jealous of you. Kay says when she let Lyrica open up for her, she thought she was bigger than her. And in her confessional, we hear her say that basically like she should have just ignored it. She should have let it rock and not let her feathers get ruffled. So now it's day 6 and it's supposed to be sex day, but the tension is still in the air. Rich says as much in his confessional as he says you can cut the tension with a knife. This isn't over and he's anticipating round 2. And then boom, one word from Kay and that's exactly where it went. Lyrica starts throwing water bottles and shit. Dr. Ish, he comes in to break it up. Just a little earlier, we saw him and Judge talking about seeing the real Lyrica and K Michelle show up. Judge says they tried to be cool and hide the true animosity between them, but last night they just couldn't do it. So Dr. Ish, he separates them and he tries to talk to Lyrica, and Lyrica's like, you got me effed up, and Doc was like, nah, you have the program effed up because this is not what we came here to do. I swear I holler because y'all better stop playing with Dr. Ish, okay? Whole time, Caston and A1, they just kind of off to the side, chill, calm, trying to get the ladies to calm down. It wasn't working. Dr. Ish wants to know what the fight is about. Lyrica says, it's the disrespect. It's the I'm better than you. I sold more records than you. Dr. Ish says, this isn't what they should be focused on. They need to reprioritize their energies on the issues that actually brought them there to boot camp. Kay tells Rich that Lyrica is delusional and that she's there to work on her and Caston and some babies. Lyrica is annoyed that A1 held her back. Dr. Ish is like, he's here to work on things with the two of you. Me and him don't have nothing to do with her. Exactly, Dr. Ish says as Lyrica sticks her foot right in her mouth. Dr. Ish, he tries to reason with her, but she doesn't want to hear it and she kind of walks away and he sends A1 after her. So Dr. Ish, he goes in to talk to Kay and then A1 comes in. He says they're both bugging. They are. He says he's the one that said something. Lyrica never said anything about her having the phone. Take it out on me. And the videotape confirms. Dr. Ish says A1 is being the bigger person because that's not what he came here to do. Dr. Ish wants everyone to cool off. And child, we spent like a whole 10 minutes of the beginning of the show on this foolishness. All couples, meet me by the pool now. Everyone shows up except for A1 and Lyrica. Rich is over it, and K Michelle apologizes to Dr. Ish and to the other couples for being a distraction. Dr. Ish says when it comes to sex, having it and talking about it are both equally important. So one couple at a time, they will step up and choose one of the 3 dice to roll. Then their partner will answer whatever question the die lands on. Mariah Lynn and Rich are up first. The dice says, I would change. Rich must answer the question, change what in the bedroom? Rich says after he finishes, he wants her to just chill and not hop up to take a shower. He feels like he's chasing the post-sex affection. He says it's emasculating and he's not sure if she wants it. Oh, Richie D wants to cuddle and get a little spooning in. Oh. Mariah Lynn is afraid to think that they could be happy, and so she runs from it. Dr. Ish says they have the same fear. They just approach it from 2 different ways. They fear that they're not enough for each other, and they don't believe that anyone can take care of them as well as they can take care of themselves. So K Michelle and Caston are up. Give me props, the die rolls on. Doc asks Caston, What's he going to give K props for in the bedroom? Caston says he'll give her props for being exploratory. Exploratory? Okay, what y'all be doing in the bedroom? So Kay, she gives him props for also being open to things. In their confessional, she says she wants to hang from stuff, be tied up, choke, all kinds of stuff. 50 Shades of Kay. Dr. Ish points out they appreciate that about each other. It makes Kay feel like she is not being judged. Ish says when you have a man who's looking at you with no judgment, that makes you feel how? Kay says it makes her feel accepted. Child, they start talking about lettuce and lockjaw. I'm trying to be mature about this episode. It's the sex episode, y'all. Gangsta Boo and Emmett are up next. GB rolls new tricks. Dr. Ish asks if there are any new tricks he'd like to see. He says they've done everything. Boo says, no, we have not. She wants to try it, like on a chair and stuff like that. He says he likes it when she throws it back. Lola, she gets a little timid. She's, if she could, she'd be turning red. He likes to talk nasty, and Lola says the foreplay is amazing. Dr. Ish says that foreplay tells her he desires her, and he's committed to the process. Well, we can see why these two work. In the confessional, Kay says Emmett and Lola, they got a vibe, and she actually liked to see them having sex. And Caston's like, yeah, no, thank you. After the exercise, they talk about the fight between Kay and Lyrica. Mariah Lynn in her confessional says that she wanted A1 and Lyrica to exercise strength and show up the way they've been taught to. Face the problem head on. Rich, he kind of says the same thing out loud to the group. So Dr. Ish, he goes to the room. In his confessional, we hear him say that A1 and Lyrica are using the problem with Kay as a convenient distraction to avoid focusing on their own issues. Ish tells Lyrica she's allowed to feel the feels, just no fighting or throwing water bottles. So after Dr. Ish leaves, A1 encourages Lyrica to be the bigger person so they can move forward. A1 and Lyrica join the rest of the couples in the kitchen to eat. In his confessional, Rich says he wants them to win, but they're distracting the group and hindering themselves. He tells them that they have the most to lose in the house. He tells Lyrica to get together with her husband and take advantage of the opportunity. Lyrica in her confessional does not appreciate it. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. All boot campers to the boot camp room, please. They walk into puppets and the notorious wheel. Caston says Emmett's puppet is spot on. But what I want to know is where are the brown puppets, the dark brown puppets, boot camp? Lola and I are sisters in colors, and that puppet, it ain't it. Just my 2 cents. Dr. Ish is going to call them up. They'll spin the wheel and use the puppet to act out the sex position you land on and demonstrate how it applies to your relationship in the bedroom. K Michelle and Caston are up first. Chair and prayer. Caston was like, oh, okay, cool. Kay was like, nah, we ain't never done that one. No, we ain't never done that one. And it was about to get ugly until Ish points out, you might have used something other than a chair, but the same position, just another piece of furniture. And that rings a bell for Kay. Dr. Ish asks how not being married and getting the IVF going affects things in the bedroom. Caston says they end up talking about it, and then they're both emotionally burned, and sex is over for the night, and Kay agrees. Dr. Ish says Kay has a couple of attachment styles. One is ambivalence, and the other is anxious attachment style, looking for consistency. Gangsta Boo and Emmett are up, and they land on standing. Lola says she wanted to, but they haven't tried that. In her confessional, she talks about expressing her freaky side in her music, and she wants to keep things spicy in the bedroom. And it seems, even though she says the sex works well, that it's become routine. She wants Emmett to initiate. He said, all you got to do is speak up, but she doesn't want to have to tell him. In her confessional, Lola realizes how important communication is. A1 and Lyrica are up next, and they land on missionary. Lyrica asks, which one is that? Really, Lyrica? And the fact that they had to explain it to her, I was like, girl, if you don't know what nothing else is, how do you not know what that is? Okay, Lyrica. Okay, you playing with me? Okay, girl. So as the puppets are doing what they do, Dr. Ish says they look like they're having fun. Are you guys having fun in the bedroom? And Lyrica says yes, she loves sex. Doc says each couple goes through 2 or 3 marriages. They're on their 2nd marriage following the infidelities. A1 talks about rejection. Lyrica says it's not always rejection. Sometimes she's just being playful. Dr. Ish says they have to let go of the pain that no longer has a purpose. Rich and Mariah Lynn are up and they land on oral for her. Rich's face, baby. He was like, you could tell Rich did not want to talk about none of this on the TV. Mariah Lynn says perfect, because she was having issues communicating that she wanted some more of that. So as they're acting it out on the puppet, the group is laughing and whatnot. Mariah Lynn also wants Rich to take the lead with this one sometimes. He doesn't have to ask her. Rich says in 2 weeks he started to think more about her feelings. And I mean, he's saying a lot of nice words, but I don't really know. If you haven't cleaned her in all this time, it just feels like it's for show. Dr. Ish asks if he's communicated this way in the past. He hasn't, and she feels that it's worth it for them to be there. And then she cries happy tears. Dr. Ish says he gave her the 3 things every woman wants: to be seen, heard, and understood. To make intimacy grow, every partner has to be willing to share their deepest needs. And you've got to create a safe space to protect your partner's vulnerability. Judge joins the group and she says what she saw that morning sent her into despair. Judge doesn't want to hear, I match energy, I feel some kind of way. She says you're just surrendering to your lesser self. She says we can't survive the 0 to 100. She starts talking about Nipsey and Biggie, and folks looked a little, emotional. Folks was in their feelings. So Kay in her confessional says, listening to the judge, she should have let it go. She said that earlier though too. She tells GB she has to learn to get off her position. Judge tells Kay she loves her a little more every day, but what she saw earlier can't happen. Judge tells A1 and Lyrica she loved the communication they showed in the last drill, but what she saw that morning, she thinks A1 loves her more than he's shown, and she wants them to have a shot for Ocean and for them. Judge tells Mariah Lynn she has done the most tremendous work opening up about a lot of difficult things and finding her voice. She tells Rich she thinks he's becoming a little easier for her to talk to, and she thanks him for that. K Michelle asks to speak to A1. Lyrica says if she wants to speak to A1, she could speak to her as well. Kay is like, girl, you better stop. I said, here we go. Lyrica says it's a respect thing. And A1's like, listen, if Lyrica is uncomfortable with it, then it's a no for me. Mariah Lynn says the energy in this house is horrible and draining. And then we end with the ladies talking shit from their respective locations. Child, a whole lot of nothing this episode with the ladies arguing like they messed up the whole thing. How did you guys feel about this episode? Drop your thoughts on down in the comment section, please. The couples are more than halfway there and your girl is finally caught up. If you have made it this far, put that tongue out emoji down in the comments for this somewhat sexual episode. I hope you'll come back and join me for my review of episode 7. And while you're here, please check out some of my other content. Thank you. Before you go, like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate you. Peace.